Hello, I'm Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe. I'm here today with Chief Warrant Officer Mike Wilson to talk about our state's Ombudsman program and how it can serve veterans. So, Chief, welcome to the Missouri Capitol, and thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today.
Thank you, Governor.
You bet. So tell us a little bit about your military service, if you don't mind. Maybe when you went in and what branch you served and what you did while you were in the military.
I was in the Army. My entrance date was in June of 1970. I went through flight school and graduated in June of 71. From there I went to Vietnam. I was there from August to April of 71, 72. And then I was transferred back to Fort Knox and flew for the post detachment there, and got trained in helicopters while I was there.
Wow.
And so I was dual rated. I enjoyed that. I had a good experience.
Great.
At Fort Knox.
Great.
And I got out of the service in '76, deciding I should go back to school, and I went through dental school.
Excellent.
So,
great. Well, we appreciate your service. Now, I have a question for you. Did you crash any planes?
Well,
not that you can report.
No, I did run out of oil once. I was over Cambodia.
Well,
and I had a passenger on board, so I shot for Vietnam. The shortest route was to go to Nui Ba Dien, which is a mountain sticking up out of nowhere. And I ran out of oil and ended up in 1.5 feet of water. Flipped the airplane after hitting a rice dam. Nobody came after me, so my passenger and I climbed into the helicopter that landed to pick us up.
Very good.
And I was taken back to my base. Those
are the stories most people in my generation and younger will never know, and I'm glad you repeated that. Yeah. That sounds like a story that is worth a great memory, but maybe a little bit different memory. Do you have anything that was your most memorable occasion while you were in the Army flying people around?
Well, the gentleman I admired that I got to fly was General George Patton, the son of. He was, I believe, the Armor School commander at the time. He left there 1 star and went to Germany, where he got his 2nd star. And he was good to his pilots. He made sure we had a car.
That's great. That's important when you get on the ground. You got to get around.
Yeah.
So tell us, you're a resident of the Mexico Veterans Home.
Yes,
our state has 7 veterans home, and I know that you've had your professional career as a dentist in our state hospital in Fulton, and then now you're in the Mexico Veterans Home. Tell us about that experience.
Well, I came down with Parkinson's, and I was diagnosed in 2012. And my wife was able to take care of me most of the time until recently. And I figured it was something she needed to taken off her hands. And so I checked in. We'd had gone through admissions with the Veterans Home there in Mexico, and they were very helpful in getting us lined up on the list and everything.
Great.
And then when my name came to the top, I went ahead and asked to be brought into the system.
Very good. I visited that Veterans Home a couple of times. It's a great facility. And I can tell you this, not just because one of them's with you here today, that the men and ladies who work in our Veterans Home, in my mind, are saints. They're taking care of our state's heroes, and I've never met somebody who works in our state's Veterans Home that doesn't love a veteran. So I'm sure you've experienced the same.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, that's great.
And I must say that we do have some very able-bodied people that work for us, and I thank them for their service.
Great.
To us veterans.
Yeah, that's good.
Because we couldn't be without that.
As we talked a little bit before we went on camera, our state has an Ombudsman program for veterans. And tell us why you think the Ombudsman program is important for a veteran to have access to.
Well, a lot of veterans don't understand all the things that are available to them. And I think the Ombudsman program allows them to at least approach them over stuff, and they can come up with questions and answers for the individual veteran. I'd like to think the ombudsman is kind of an advocate. I've had to sit down occasionally and talk with some of the staff about things, but I've always felt fair,
Right.
that they were fair to me.
That's all you can ask for. You know.
True.
So that's what we want to make sure that our veterans know, the heroes that we have across the state understand that they have an advocate that would speak for them. And I think you would agree having an advocate is a great thing to have.
It is. And it's good that they're in the facility themselves, but if you get somebody from outside, at least you have that dual look at things is the problem. And I think that needs to be addressed to the applicant for the advocate.
Well, I've had the great pleasure in this office to, and even before my private life, to meet many of our veterans. And I know that there are men and ladies who are very proud, and sometimes they're too proud, and they don't want to ask for that help, right?
Well,
And so we want them, we encourage them to reach out and ask for help, to help them get through those pieces of life that they're just not quite sure how to deal with.
well, I appreciate that. Look at it, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think that's awareness is the first thing. Awareness of what you have available to you.
Right.
And then you can get into the details later.
Yep, that's exactly right. Well, I really appreciate you coming down and sharing your story with us and being able to advocate for veterans and the Ombudsman program. It means a lot to your fellow servicemen and women to know that there's something out there, and I know that on behalf of Governor Parson and our elected officials in this building, we're never going to stop advocating for what we have to do for the heroes that gave us the freedom to have this interview today. And on behalf of our state, I wanted to offer you my challenge coin as appreciation, a small token of what you've done for our country and for our state, and for being on my program today and just sharing your story with other Missouri veterans on what we can do to help them.
Thank you.
God bless you.
And to you, sir,
Thank you so much.
and your staff.
Our staff is great. We appreciate your time today.